A lot of people were there to see what happened, but some good news came of it. The Redevelopment Commission will move forward with a bond anticipation note. There are, Michelle, here I hold a brick that residents can purchase. This is the first one dedicated to the Sullivan Civic Center. This will be on the walking trail that will be added in phase 2. The council and the mayor have been much more engaged this year than in last year's process when it comes to the budget. Plenty of dialogue between the two parties. Some of the obvious precautions to make sure that you're not a target this holiday season, or to make sure that all of your doors on the outside of your house are locked and can't really be kicked into. But then you must also be aware of the entries around the home, which include windows, more importantly side windows. If they're unlocked, then a burglar can easily get inside of your home. Come on out and get to meet the ISU women's basketball team, as well as new head coach Joey Wells, who I have with me here right now. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Luckily, they actually got a ring. It's been a while since the Bears have had one. So.
Weather is perfect. I don't know why I wore a jacket. It's really hot out here. That's certainly a welcome sight. Another welcome sight is the $5,200 that have been raised by various participants and sponsorship. Here at Honey Creek Mall, people are already getting a jump start on those Black Friday deals. But on a Thursday, and all of the doors behind me are opening up, the hallway was filled with people. They're all inside getting a jump start. A lot of activities there that I've never even thought of. Boutique shop in particular. My mom's birthday is coming up, and
there you go.
That's probably the best place to start, huh? Behind me right now is the ladies, and it is pretty intense here, Julie. I didn't know what to expect, but my gosh, you think about a race where you're handing off a baton, they're handing off a whole tricycle. I mean, these girls are doing it seamlessly. I would fall flat on my face if I were there. Luckily, I am not. There go the balloons right now. All the balloons are purple and lime green, which were Hannah's favorite colors. So, Dan, you're saying some rain in the forecast tomorrow, but do I have time to hit the golf course before the rain hits
I think so.
Now, this is Indiana Scale's bread and butter. They're 4x4 scale. It's a little bigger than the scale you would use at home. So I'm going to step onto it. It'll show my weight. Now, can I lose a few pounds? Absolutely. But my weight is very small compared to the capacity of this scale. I'm Vigo County Prosecutor Terry Modisett says this was a very lengthy and complicated investigation which started last spring, and it's a case unlike any other that he's seen. After a year of investigations, police have probable cause to arrest Isaiah Benford. He's accused of having sex with multiple partners and never revealing that he is HIV positive. ISP Sergeant Joe Watts says there were a number of factors that made this a complex investigation.
Locating potential witnesses, locating potential victims, doing our normal investigative maneuvering that we do, the different entities that we have to work through, the different health departments that we had to go through. So it was a lengthy investigation, but we took our time to make sure it was done right.
Benford faces 16 charges, including battery by waste, aggravated battery, battery resulting in serious bodily injury, and failure to comply with duty to warn. According to the probable cause, Benford was named a partner to a male with AIDS in 2003. In 2011, he tested positive for HIV and received a notice to warn any partners that he had the disease, something he did not do, and his silence breaks Indiana code.
Basically, if you know that you are infected, with the disease, that you are to inform anyone else that you may have interaction or encounter with.
The 16 counts stem from 3 victims. Officials say Benford is linked to at least 11 other partners, but only 3 have come forward.
Some people, obviously, and the ones we filed the charges on, were willing and understood that they may have to appear in court, and that they would appear in a public forum and have to testify in a public forum and those type of things. Not everyone, obviously, would want to do that.
Modisett says he's never seen a case to this degree in his time as prosecutor. He would like to see others who may be affected by the case come forward.
If there are other victims out there, we're always hoping that they will come forward. I mean, that's our hope in every case, because we just want to make sure that we try to bring justice for anybody and everybody that may have been a victim.
Police were also able to take time on this investigation because they knew Benford's exact location at all times, as he's been in the Vigo County Jail since April of last year on unrelated charges. Now, this girl isn't really dead. It's all a part of a mass casualty exercise, this being the aftermath of a situation that may be all too familiar over the last decade.
It's timely. Unfortunately, we live in a world where this stuff happens. So the best thing you can do is train for it.
We're used to seeing this aspect of an active shooter exercise. Men enter the building and start firing.
What you got? What you got? What you got?
Loudly at that. Soon after, law enforcement responds. But on Friday, Ivy Tech nursing students got the chance to be thrown into the situation themselves.
It really felt like real life, nerves and heart race, but it was exciting and fun too.
They really get an opportunity to see the turmoil and the chaos that's involved in trying to get triage done quickly, that life-saving that takes place on a scene.
At times, active shooter exercises may be more informational than anything, to give us an inside look at how those who protect us react to the scene.
Multiple victims down.
But for Amanda Harper, it was also very educational.
There's a lot we learned today, even going through nursing school. Emergency training is totally different.
They may have never even thought of emergency medicine outside of a clinical setting, and who knows, and this is an area where we need a lot of expertise in the field.
For those out in the field tending to the wounded, it was all business, as I tried asking how many were dead and how many shooters there were.
I do not. I'm working with these patients.
You know how many shooters there were?
I do not, because I'm out here just treating the wounded.
Amanda Harper says Friday's exercise was something that she's never been a part of.
I don't think as of yet we've went to this level, just going to ER or the hospital and learning everyday things, but this is first responder real life stuff, so it was completely different than what we have done. So.
Tonight I got the pleasure to meet Bailey Halloran, who has Down syndrome. Now Bailey is quite the athlete as she swims, plays baseball, but nothing compares to being on the hardwood. And last week, Bailey was able to put those skills on display.
It's my favorite sport because I love to shoot.
Bailey isn't kidding when she says she loves to shoot. At Wednesday's practice at Honey Creek, Bailey put up shot after shot.
I like shooting because I like to shoot everything when I at home, like I shoot around. And it's always playing because I love to shoot and do layups so that.
Last Tuesday, Coach Dustin Speth told Bailey she'd be dressing up with the team as they played Sarah Scott.
She had been with us all year long, every single game, cheering the girls on, and she tried out for the team and wanted to be part of it, so I thought, well, it's our last home game of the year. Maybe we can get her in for a few minutes and see what happens. Sarah Scott's coach, Rhonda Odell, was very supportive of the idea.
Whatever it takes, we're going to get her at least one bucket, if not more, so whatever it takes to get her that.
Coach Speth says Bailey was a little nervous when he called on her to enter the game.
After a little bit of debate, I sent her and another player up to the bench, and she went, and once she was in, she was off and running.
And before Bailey stepped onto the court, she received a message from one of the officials.
One of the guys said, "Do not hang on the rim." I said, "I would not hang on the rim."
Bailey's teammates kept feeding her the ball as she missed her first couple of shot attempts. Then, a Sarah Scott player got the rebound. But what happens next is where the sportsmanship was on display.
They gave the ball back to her maybe 3 or 4 times in a row, and then she made the shot. They were on the floor clapping, and their bench was clapping, and their fans were clapping.
It was very touching, and I turned to my bench and I told them that that's what it was all about. It's about sportsmanship and creating memories that last a lifetime.
When I was out there, it felt like I'm right there with my family and my friends because they're special to me, and they're all there. It's really cool to be out there.
Honey Creek went on to win the game, but if you ask Coach Rhonda Odell's team, they didn't mind.
Good things can come in moments like that. Even though you lost, you can still hold your head high and do something positive for someone else.
And before Bailey went to bed that night, she told her mom something.
I told my mommy, this is the best night ever, and I loved it.